Saltburn. As if we didn't have enough films about British sarcasm and passive aggression, today we'll be taking a deep dive into Oliver Quick, the man behind the mystery in the Saltburn movie, to see what makes him tick, how it makes him tick, and how badly things got for anyone that stood in his way. I'm Doom, and welcome to House of Films, your one-stop spot for all things horror, thriller, fantasy, and mystery. And if you're new to the channel, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Or else. Now, let us begin. Backstory and origin. Oliver is a character marked by his cunning. Throughout the film, he skillfully masquerades as someone plagued by poverty, cosplaying as poor. Red flag number 1. This act is not just a simple lie, but a well-crafted persona designed to evoke empathy from his surrogate boyfriend, Felix. He presents himself as downtrodden and in desperate circumstances, a facade that resonates deeply with Felix and his family. This is central to understanding Oliver's character, a person who is willing to manipulate reality to gain sympathy. He's basically a shorter version of Littlefinger. The depths of Oliver's deception descends all the way to Satan's ass crack. He concocted the most tragic backstory for his family. He portrays his parents as addicts, with his father delving deeper into Satan's ass crack as a drug dealer. He basically created miscreant parents for no other reason but to steal his friend's birthright. That is objectively hilarious. This narrative isn't just a lie, it's a carefully constructed story that plays on common societal fears and prejudices. It's a strategic move, designed to create a specific image of himself in the minds of those around him, particularly Felix, the apple of his eye, or so we originally thought. Perhaps the most telling moment of Oliver's manipulation comes when he senses Felix's anger towards him, when he basically got on Felix's dick about being more clean. Mind you, Felix does live like a snob, but I guess that's part of his privileged upbringing. After that, he started to distance himself from Ollie, and baby Littlefinger did not appreciate that at all. In a move that demonstrates his quick thinking and moral flexibility, Oliver claims that his father tragically died out of nowhere. This lie served a singular purpose. It deflects the immediate conflict they had going on, which highlights Oliver's ability to exploit emotional vulnerabilities for his own ends. Ultimately, the truth about Oliver's background is starkly different. He hails from an upper middle class family, of course, devoid of struggles he so vividly describes. This revelation is critical as it recontextualizes his actions and motives. Oliver isn't struggling for survival, he's a puppet master, pulling strings in a game of social manipulation. Again, he do really great in Game of Thrones. Sorry I've been kinda on a binge lately, but yeah, he'd probably run rings around good old Ned Stark. Oliver's character is a study in deceit and manipulation. His portrayal as a poor, troubled individual is a meticulously crafted illusion, serving as a tool to navigate and manipulate his social environment. Understanding this aspect of his character is essential in realizing bro is simply a psychotic piece of shit. Or in other words, he's simply just British. Key traits. Oliver's manipulative nature is evident in his calculated portrayal of a poor and downtrodden person. This deception isn't merely a lie, it's a grand performance designed to win over those around him, especially Felix and his family. His ability to manipulate situations and people speaks to a deeply ingrained cunning and disturbing willingness to use others for his ends. He's probably a Capricorn. That's them to a T. Oliver's adaptability is a key component for his manipulative skill set. He meticulously studies the interests of Felix's family, mirroring them to gain their trust and affection. This adaptability extends to darker realms, as shown in his efforts to oust Farley by framing him for theft and suggesting his involvement in Felix's death. Farley was a piece of shit, of course, but it was a mismatch of the ages trying to go after Ollie. Privileged rich kid versus a cold, calculated psychopath. It was only going to end in one way. Oliver's adaptability is not just a survival skill, it's a predatory tactic. Beneath Oliver's composed exterior lies a burning envy. He doesn't just desire the material possessions or status of those more fortunate, he craves their lives, their happiness. If that boy could transfer his soul into Felix's body, he would have done that in a heartbeat. His envy drives him to extreme actions, illustrating a man who sees what others have and believes he is more deserving of it, regardless of the moral cost. Oliver's dominance is evident in his need for others to submit to his will. He derives satisfaction not just from achieving his goals, but from bending others to his desires. This trait reveals a darker aspect of his personality, where control and domination are not just means to an end, but desired ends themselves. Bro basically thinks he's British Christian Grey. The most chilling aspect of Oliver's character is his capacity for deadly violence. His lack of remorse in killing Felix, Venetia, and Elspeth marks him as more than just a criminal. It reveals a psychotic nature. His actions are not crimes of passion. Well, in a strange, messed up way, they kinda are, but for the most part, they are cold, calculated, and executed without a semblance of empathy. Oliver's character is a complex blend of dangerous traits. His manipulative and adaptable nature allows him to disguise his true intentions, while his envy drives him to desperate and extreme actions. His need for dominance and lack of empathy culminate in a deadly personality, making him a formidable and terrifying figure. Character development. Oliver's introduction in the film is marked by a quiet, quirky demeanor, which at first glance appears to be genuine. This initial portrayal is a deliberate choice, a facade constructed to blend in and appear harmless. His unassuming nature is reminiscent of a wolf in sheep's clothing, using his perceived innocence to hide his darker ulterior motives. As the film progresses, Oliver's character undergoes a noticeable change. He becomes more confident, engaging with other characters in a way that seems outwardly loving and endearing. This transformation is not a sign of genuine growth, but a calculated move to lower the guards of those around him. His growing confidence is a tactical maneuver designed to further embed himself into the lives of Felix and his family, thereby facilitating his sinister plan. The climax of the film unveils the disturbing truth about Oliver. The quirky, lovable teenager is a facade. In reality, he is a psychotic murderer driven by deep-seated envy. His feelings towards Felix are not of love, but of intense loathing. Oliver views Felix's privileged life as something he himself is more deserving of. This envy fuels hatred, leading to a chilling revelation of his true nature. Oliver's character arc culminates in this moment, where his carefully constructed mask is stripped away, exposing the cold murderer that he actually is. Oliver's hatred for Felix is rooted in a distorted perception of privilege and power. He sees Felix's life, filled with opportunities and comfort, as undeserving, contrasting sharply with what he believes he is entitled to. This misguided envy is a key driving force in his actions throughout the film, culminating in his heinous crimes. It's a stark reminder of how twisted perceptions can lead to deadly actions. In simple terms, he's simply bad mind. In summary, Oliver's character development in the film is a carefully orchestrated journey from a seemingly innocuous individual to a menacing figure. His transformation is a pivotal element of the narrative, skillfully revealing the layers of his complex, dark persona. The film masterfully peels back these layers, showing how appearances can be dangerously deceiving and how deep-seated envy can corrupt the soul. Relationships and interactions. Oliver's relationship with Felix is a central part of the story, initially portrayed as one of love and affection. However, as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Oliver's feelings are not rooted in love but in envy. While there might have been a hint of infatuation in the beginning, his envy for Felix's privileged life overshadows any genuine affection. Oliver's relationship with Felix is a twisted mix of admiration and deep-seated resentment, leading to a tragic climax. Oliver's interactions with Venetia is defined by a dom-sub dynamic. Again, he swears he's English Christian Grey. To Oliver, Venetia is not a person to be cared for, but an object to fulfill his psychopathic tendencies. Venetia, on the other hand, develops genuine feelings for Oliver, which are met with cold indifference. When Oliver withdraws from her due to Felix's jealousy, it sparks resentment in Venetia, further complicating their toxic relationship. Elspeth's desire to be seen as a benefactor plays right into Oliver's hands. He recognizes her narcissistic traits by manipulating them to his advantage. By presenting himself as a charity case, he gains Elspeth's sympathy and support. Following Felix's death, their relationship morphs, with Elspeth viewing Oliver as a surrogate son, and maybe a lover. The show didn't say that, but I have a strong feeling that they became intimate at some point. This, coupled with deaths of those close to Elspeth, makes her an easy target for Oliver's manipulations. Oliver's animosity towards Farley stems from a perception of him being the epitome of unearned privilege. While he may have resented Felix, he flat out hated Farley. Despite being privileged himself, Oliver harbors a deep hatred for those he deems more fortunate. His loathing for Farley is so intense that he goes as far as framing him for theft. This relationship showcases Oliver's hypocrisy and his intense aversion to privilege, which he ironically also possesses. And to be fair, Farley didn't exactly help himself considering he was a dick to Oliver throughout the entirety of the show. Oliver's relationship with the characters in the film are a complex web of manipulation, envy, and deceit. Each relationship reveals different facets of his character, from his envious nature and manipulative tendencies to his inability to form genuine emotional connections. These dynamics play a crucial role in the development of the character. Motivations and goals. Oliver's central goal throughout the film is the acquisition of the Saltburn estate, a symbol of wealth and status he desperately craves. His fixation on the estate goes beyond a mere desire for property or luxury. It represents a status and a life he feels he is rightfully owed. This singular focus drives every action and decision he makes, painting a picture of a man consumed by his ambition. To achieve his goal, Oliver demonstrates a chilling willingness to cross moral and ethical boundaries. His actions include manipulation, deceit, and even doing missionary on a gravesite, showcasing a character who is both completely sick in the head and unafraid to use others as a pawn in his game. His lack of moral scruples is starkly evident in his willingness to use others as a means to an end. At the heart of Oliver's actions is a profound sense of envy. He envies those born into privilege and power, qualities he associates with the Saltburn estate. It propels him down a dark path filled with bloodshed and deception. Oliver's envy is a corrosive force, eating away at any semblance of morality or empathy he might have once possessed. He didn't possess any of that, by the way. I'm just saying, if he did, Saltburn completely took it away. Oliver's journey towards obtaining the estate is marked by a trail of violence and deceit. He is willing to kill, betray, and destroy anyone who stands in his way. This path of bloodshed highlights the extent of his obsession and the depths he is willing to sink in order to achieve his goal. He's the English version of "if you go low, I go to hell." Oliver's motivation and goals in the film revolve around a single, overpowering objective: to claim the Saltburn estate. This goal drives him to commit heinous acts, fueled by a deep envy of those born into privilege he so desires. His journey is a harrowing tale of ambition corrupted into madness, a stark reminder of the dangers of envy and obsession. Symbolism. In my humble opinion, not that you guys care anyways, but the Saltburn estate in the film is not just a physical location or a sign of wealth. It's a powerful symbol of the privilege and status that are coveted in society. It stands as a reminder of the disparities between different social classes and becomes a focal point for the character's deepest desires and envies. Saltburn becomes a metaphor for the destructive power of envy. It represents everything that Oliver yearns for but does not possess himself. This jealousy manifests in his actions that are morally corrupt and often violent. The estate symbolizes how far individuals are willing to go to acquire what they believe they deserve, even if it means destroying others in the process. Throughout the film, Saltburn acts as a constant reminder of the jealousy that drives Oliver's actions. This jealousy is not a personal feeling, but a pervasive force that influences relationships, decisions, and outcomes. It's a commentary on how jealousy can blind people, leading them to commit acts they might have never have considered otherwise. Although we can't really say that considering who Oliver is. Unfortunately, him being a sicko, he would have eventually found some other fixation to completely ruin. The Saltburn estate also symbolizes society's value system, where material possessions and status often takes precedence over moral, values, and human relations. It reflects a world where people are judged and valued based on what they own rather than who they are. Visuals and iconic moments. The scene where Oliver drinks Felix's bathwater is both unsettling and completely disgusting. He should have been locked in a cell 100 feet underground for that act alone. It's a moment that visually captures Oliver's obsessive nature and the perverse lengths he is willing to go to in his fixations. This action, far beyond anything socially acceptable, serves to unsettle the audience, and unsettle the audience it did. Me, that shit creeped me out. It offers a glimpse into Oliver's disturbed psyche. It symbolizes his desire to possess and consume every aspect of Felix's life, blurring the lines between admiration and obsession. In another disturbing scene, Oliver performs oral sex on Venetia while she was on her period. This moment is not only graphic, but also serves as a metaphor for Oliver's willingness to indulge in taboo acts. So on top of being English Christian Grey, bro also thinks he's Count Dracula, just going around and snacking on people's blood. This further showcased his disregard for conventional boundaries. It's a moment that is both shocking and indicative of his character's devolution into depravity, illustrating a complete detachment from societal norms and expectations. Perhaps the most shocking moment is when Oliver basically dry humped Felix's grave. I still can't believe bro sexually assaulted that man's grave. He should have been set on fire for that alone, like seriously. The scene is a powerful visual representation of his complete disconnection from reality and morality. The act of completely desecrating a grave, a place of respect and mourning, highlights his lack of empathy and respect for anything beyond his own desires. It's a moment that cements Oliver's character as not just troubled, but deeply psychotic. Each of these scenes, with their graphic and shocking content, serves to underline how twisted Oliver really is. They're not just visually striking, but they are also crucial in understanding the extent of his mental and moral deterioration. These moments are key in illustrating the disturbing journey Oliver undergoes, marking him as a character that leaves a lasting impact on the audience due to his extreme actions. In this entire movie, he's had like 4 to 5 scenes that should have had him tried at The Hague. In the end, the journey through the film's narrative and the deep dive into Oliver's character leaves us with an unsettling portrait. From the deceptive layer of his backstory and origin to the intricate web of his relationships and interactions, Oliver emerges as a character both complex and chilling. His motivations and goals, driven by an insatiable envy and ruthless pursuit of the Saltburn estate, reveals how completely bonkers Bro's depravity really is. The symbolism of the Saltburn estate stands as a poignant reminder of the destructive nature of envy and the lengths to which it can drive an individual. The iconic moments, each more disturbing than the last, serve as stark visual representations of Oliver's psychotic nature. Tattooing his bullshit into our minds forever. I mean, like, seriously. Who drinks someone's bathwater? That's crazy. Throughout this exploration, the film not only presents a character study of a deeply flawed man, but also holds up a mirror into the darker aspects of human nature. Oliver's story is a cautionary tale of how jealousy can corrupt, how appearances can deceive, and how batshit crazy people can get in the pursuit of material gain. I say all of that horseshit to say this. Power and envy are like oil and water. They never go together well. Thank you for joining this extended exploration of Oliver's character. We peel back the layers, examine the symbolism, and delve deep into the psyche of a truly disturbing character. If you enjoyed this analysis, please consider subscribing and giving us a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking analysis and further discussion on our channel. Your support means the world to us. And remember, be kind to each other.